We're going to be here for just a couple minutes while we get connected up to the big system on the Dublin Mind Body Experience. And then we're going to get into how to not diet and have a healthy body. I used to think those were not compatible, but I've learned something different. So just 2 more minutes and we will begin. Hey, Freddie. All right, we're going to give it just a minute or two, let people start coming in. And we're T-minus 2 minutes. Everybody enjoying the weather? Beautiful out, isn't it? It's absolutely gorgeous. In fact, it's been so warm. I was sitting here being quite miserable, and I couldn't believe it was up to 29. It was 30 this morning, so it was quite cool. I mean, warm. But it seems like it's come off a little bit, at least over in our neck of the woods. Okay, 1 minute. Then we're going to start. Hey everybody, we're going to be starting in just a second. My name is Mary Kay Anderson. I am a retired nurse. I am a holistic practitioner, but primarily a lot of my work is in hypnotherapy. And as being a hypnotherapist, I deal with a lot of weight issues. All right. So if you're listening on the replay, thank you so much for listening to the replay. Those of you that are with me in person, thank you for being here. And we are going to learn some interesting information here today. Let me just tell you that I was shocked when I heard the things I heard. The title of the talk is How Not to Diet and Have a Healthy Body. Now, this is my first time to give this particular talk, so be patient, bear with me, be kind. But and all the information that I'm going to give you is information and my perception of the experiences that I have had throughout the past year. If you, at the end of this, if you are interested, and I'll repeat these again, most of the information are from people that I follow on YouTube. We have Dr. Mindy Pelz, P-E-L-Z, Dr. Jason Fong, F-O-U-N-G, and Thomas DeLauer. These are all people who are into helping people lose weight, have healthy bodies, eat in a manner that helps the body to do what it's meant to do. All right? So I'll repeat all those again at the end if you're interested. Those of you who know me, some don't. Those of you who know me know that I have really struggled with my weight for a long time. That became very obvious. I thought, I'm a retired nurse, so even when I was nursing, I was quite heavy. I actually, and this is the truth, I actually never had a weight problem until I went on a diet to lose 20 pounds. I lost 20 pounds and gained back about 30. And so I lost it again and gained back until I gained 40. And it's just this cycle, all right? It became this yo-yo diet thing. Very distressing. No matter what I did, no matter what diets I worked on, no matter what I fed my body, it would work for a while. And then pretty soon, all the way down we go, right back to gaining all that weight again, all right? There's a reason for all this, and I will get to that in just a moment. Now, if you are a postmenopausal woman, honey, it's not going to get any better. Okay? Now we have to really deal with our hormones. Let's put it this way. As a woman, a premenopausal woman, we don't worry about it so much, but there are ways to fast to enhance your cycle, okay? But if you're postmenopausal or perimenopausal, the hormones are going mad. Why? Number one, estrogen and progesterone are dropping. Estrogen helps us build collagen and be healthy. Progesterone is our kind of anti-anxiety sort of hormone, and that's we're up on ourselves all the time. Boo. And there's a lot of other functions, but these are the ones I'm going to talk about in this talk today. Okay, so now we have everybody's trying to lose weight, They lose some weight, then they gain it back. Then they gain more back, then they lose it again, and then gain back even more and more. So what is going on here? All right. Well, Dr. Jason Fung described it very clearly in the research that I did. Number one, excuse me, the statement that weight loss is a matter of calories taken in minus the calories burned, okay, or the calories out, what you exert, is equal to weight lost. But there's one major fault in that statement. The major fault is that the way calories are burned is not consistent. It is not all things are equal. We don't take in that many, and just because we exercise, we can get rid of those by whatever exercise. Our burning of calories is influenced by hormones, by our mood, by so many things, so that calories in minus calories out is not equal to calories burned. It just isn't. Now, for someone who doesn't have a whole lot of weight to lose, that might work. It might work. And I'm going to tell you in a minute why we're going to say this doesn't work so well. The fitness industry is built on this premise. Hypnosis is built on this premise. The things that we help people with in hypnosis is built on this premise. Weight Watchers, all of those, Slimming World, are built on that premise. So they are doomed to fail. Okay? Now, that's nothing against, this is all just hypothetical. I'm not saying they're bad things. A lot of people do lose weight on those. It depends on where you are on the spectrum of weight that you need to lose. Me, I am a chronic fat girl. Okay, I'll just be honest. I gained weight after having children, and I've lost it, but I've always put it back on. So what is really, really going on in our bodies? Excuse me. Well, let's go back in time to the premise, but where everybody's talking about when we were cavemen. Okay, let's go there because this is very important. When we were cavemen, our bodies are built to work on a a lack and a plenty cycle. Why? Because back in the cavemen days, they didn't have automatic rifles to go out and shoot and hunt. Getting food could take days. Getting food could take a very long time. And so what happens is the body is built to store fat to save your life. Now, that sounds weird, doesn't it? But it's the truth. Because there will come a day when food will be scarce, okay? Food will be scarce, and you will not be able to get food regularly. This is back in the caveman days, okay? And so your body begins to go in and begin to burn the fat. Now, I'm going to stop right there. What we have here is we have two systems in our body. We have the sugar burning system, which is this all about when we eat and we're going to burn calories and we're going to do this so that we can lose weight. But if all you're doing is manipulating the carbs and manipulating everything else and the calories in and the calories out, we really almost don't ever get to the fat burning stage. Okay? Almost. Nothing I say here is absolute. It's based on everybody's individual experiences, and everybody has their own experiences, okay? So the bottom line is we are built. So your body wants to save your life so that when you do not have enough food, when you're confronted by a saber-toothed tiger, you have the energy available that the body can go in and begin to burn it so you can get away, so you can hold on until you get to the place where you're going to be able to have food to eat. So our bodies are built on feast and famine, all right? Feast and famine and plenty and lack, whatever you want to call it, okay? So in that, let's talk about this. This means we have two systems. We have the sugar burning system and we have the fat burning system. Now, I'm going to tell you something that used to really irritate me to death when I was working at losing weight. All right. Now, before I tell you that, let me tell you, over the past year, with the things that I've told you today, I've lost 70 pounds. I have lost from a size 32 down to a 24. I feel healthier than I have been in all of my life. So this is my experience of how I've done this. And so I just want to share this, and we'll talk more about some more things in just a little bit. So the bottom line is, and you don't have to be overweight, because there's a lot of good reasons to do what I'm talking to you about today. All right. So we have the sugar burning system. We have the fat burning system. All right. The sugar burning system is there so that when we are in times of plenty, we're eating, we're not really worried about whether we're going to burn fat or not. And we're actually building fat. Your body goes, oh, that's extra. We need to keep that. And so it secretes the insulin. So it goes ahead and stores that for fat burning for future use. So the other thing is then we have, that's how the sugar system goes. Then the fat burning process is, oh my, we're not getting in the glucose that we need. We're not getting protein in. We're not getting anything in that we need. We're kind of in a lack time here. Well, do you know what? It's a good thing that I stored all of that fat up, because now we need it. And the body then shifts into burning fat. Now, go back to the point of, I was saying, what really irritated me the most when I was losing weight. And I said, right, I'll just not eat for a while and burn the fat. Oh, no, you can't do that. You'll go into starvation mode. You'll eat your muscle. You'll do all these things. But if we're constantly feeding the body, if we're eating from sun up to sundown, from the morning to the night, how are we able to burn any fat if we are constantly feeding the body and not allowing it to have time or moments of lack? How is that possible? Well, it isn't. So what I'm going to be talking about is ways and different ways to use fasting and ketogenic eating so that you can access at will the fat burning properties of your body so that you can lose fat, have energy, that you can feel healthier in your body, so that your body will do exactly what you ask it to. How many of you have ever been frustrated that you've been trying to lose weight and wanting to do this, and everything you did, nothing worked? Nothing worked. I know that's me. So it's a very frustrating feeling. So we have, so this way that I'm going to talk about now works on the concept of the caveman, which is what we always go back to. Also remember, if an organism is geared to go ahead and start burning its own muscle when there is no fat, well, that organism isn't going to survive very long, is it? No, it's not. So in this, just know there are many other ways for your body to get what it needs from the body, and I'll talk more about that, without pulling in the muscle. It can get its protein, it can get glucose, it can get whatever it needs in different ways. And there's this is all going to be so much clearer once I get through the parts. So two burning systems. We have fat burning, we have sugar burning. The idea of this is not to be one or the other. It's not being one or the other. It's about being able to move through being a sugar burner, and then when you need it, move back into being a fat burner. And just being, your body easily glides between the two. Okay, so that is where, and if you're going to be successful, that is exactly what needs to happen. You need to be able to be what we call fat adaptive. Absolutely fat adaptive. Okay, so when we're talking about all this, we're going to talk about different ways, and one of the most prevalent ways, particularly if you're looking to lose weight, but one of the most prevalent ways to keep your body healthy is to fast. Okay? Now, I'm not talking days on ends, just water or no food or no water. Not talking about that. We're talking about even if you want to call them modified fast. But look at the Muslims. They fast. They have the Ramadan, and they go a month where they don't eat through the day, and they have one. I think they have one meal at night, if I'm not mistaken, when they drink. I'm not clear, but I think that's the way it works. And they do that for a whole month, the month of Ramadan. And their religion says this is what they should do because it's good for their body. Christianity talks about fasting and prayer and fasting and prayer. It's good for your body. So those are the things that it talks about, is how to fast, not because you need to do penance, which some people do that, that's fine, but because it's a way to keep your body healthy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about several ways and different things that you can achieve through fasting. I'm starting with the weight loss one first because that's really what we talked about. I talked about in my heading here. So the first thing that, and the easiest, and if you're just a beginner and you've never fasted before, the best way is to be an intermittent faster. Now, what does that really mean? Basically, it means you don't eat breakfast. You're going to fast a minimum of 16 hours a day. Now, everybody thinks, oh, I have to go all day without eating. No, here's what you do. You start with your evening meal. You eat an evening meal and you stop eating at 6. Now, we always say, or whatever time you stop eating, adapt it to your schedule. So whatever your last meal of the day is, that is the last meal of the day. And there's no food in after that, okay? So then you sleep all night. And remember, it takes 8 to 12 hours, 8 to 12 hours for your body to digest the food that you ate. And it cannot go into a fast burning mode until the food that you have eaten is digested and dealt with, whether it's used, whether it's stored, whatever it does. Okay? So once you have eaten, so my method has been I finish my meal between 6 and 7 every evening. And from 6 to 7, I eat nothing. Okay? I eat my last meal. After 6, after 7, whatever time I stop. I eat nothing. I get up the next morning. Now, I've never been a great breakfast person, but I do. Oh, breakfast is the best meal of the day, or most important meal of the day. That's an ad slogan by the Kellogg's Company. I think it was. That's an ad slogan. Nobody said that. So, you go in, and so to get your 16 hours of fasting, if you stopped at 6, 12 hours is 6 a.m., okay? And if you're going to do 16 hours, you need 4 more hours, which means by 10 a.m., you eat your first meal, okay? Or do your, you eat your first meal, you break your fast. Now, the best way to break a fast, you can break a fast with lean protein, or you can break a fast with fat, okay? If you break a fast with fat, say like avocado or something like that, you're actually going to extend that fast just a little bit longer until you eat your first meal, and that's okay. Or you just get up, if you want to just make it as simple as possible, you eat your first meal at 10 a.m., all right? So first meal, what's a meal? Okay, what am I eating? Well, basically on intermittent fasting, what I did when I started intermittent fasting, I would just eat basically low carb, and as keto, I called it keto-esque. So as keto as I could, I wasn't strict with it. I didn't go mad with everything. If you're going to eat on a ketogenic type diet, be careful you don't overdo fat, simply because fat is good, But once you overdo it and you have enough what you need, it's going to go into storage and you don't want to store. Okay. So the first thing we do is going to eat our first meal. And so you have had a fasting window of 16 hours. Now we're going to have an eating window of 8 hours. So if you start at 8, then you can eat between the hours of 8 and 6. Okay. Very simple. You eat 2 meals or eat whatever sustains you, but you only eat from 10 to 6. Adjust it however you want, adjust your schedule. That is intermittent fasting, 16-hour fasting window, and an 8-hour eating window. You're basically going to be eating 2 meals. My personal preference is to eat low carb with a keto type genesis to it. All right. And it's worked very well for me. Now, in the beginning, it took me a while. In the very beginning, it took me a while to be able to get the hang of this. I made mistakes. I felt frustrated, but it took, once I kept stuck with it, I did very well with it. Okay. Then, now we're going to come into a type called OMAD, or 1 meal a day. Okay. Again, we're not going to get up and eat nothing all day. We are going to eat from dinner to, I always eat from dinner to dinner. Some people eat from lunch to lunch. Some people breakfast to breakfast. It's whatever suits you in your schedule. So I like eating from dinner to dinner. That's my eating. That's my fasting window. From dinner today to dinner tomorrow, I'll eat nothing. Okay. Sometimes maybe I'll have a bit of broth. This is called like a dirty fast. So if you have a bit of broth or anything like that, that's fine. Water, always no problem with water, green tea, coffee. Okay. So your fasting window is for 24 hours. I do mine dinner to dinner, and you eat your meal in the evening, 1 meal a day. That same sort of for me is low carb keto-esque type diet that keeps me going. Now, let me warn you, especially if you're a lady of a certain age, if you are doing OMAD and your calories and your carbs are low, when the carbs are low in the body pushes excess fluid out. It just pushes fluid. So just be aware of that. If you're older and you have anything going on with your urinary system where you maybe, like I have the nurse's bladder, it feels like it's the tiniest bladder on the planet. But anyway, so I have to watch those days when I'm doing that. But that's the only caution I give to that. So low carb, keto-esque type there. So now you have a 24-hour, a 24-hour fasting window. And now you have a 1 hour or 23-hour and a 1 hour eating window. So me, I go from dinner to dinner, and then I eat at that 24-hour mark, and then I don't eat anymore. So there we go. And that's called OMAD, or 1 meal a day. All right. Now, there's also the warrior diet. And what that is, the warrior fast, it's not a diet. Sorry. People say that. I don't. The warrior fast means you go 20 hours. So in the evening, I eat my last meal at 6, and then I count 20 hours, which would be 4 hours from 6 o'clock. So 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm going to break my fast. All right. And again, low carb, keto-esque. And that, so I have a 20-hour window of fasting, and now I have a 4-hour window to eat. Again, with low carb and all that. The next is alternate day eating. This one is one where you eat whatever you want one day, but the next day you eat nothing. So again, you could do that from dinner to dinner. Basically, on that one, I would probably go, on Monday, I'd eat whatever I want, and on Tuesday, I'd eat nothing, and I would alternate that way. Okay? And there is a study out that shows that over a year, people who did alternate day fasting lost more weight and were healthier than the people who didn't, who did other methods. Okay? Now we're going to get into some really fun stuff. There's a couple diets, a couple fasts here that, one I am so excited about that is really going to, if you're into this, it's really going to tick all the boxes. So the next fast we're going to talk about real quickly is the fast mimicking. Okay. And I think this has a little bit to do with, well, you'll hear it when I talk about it. Fast mimicking. What are we doing? In fast mimicking, what we are doing is we are going to eat very little, okay? Very little. And we're going to trick the body into thinking that it's fasting so that we get the benefits of that fast, but we're actually eating, all right? So how do we trick the body? All right, you trick the body by going and saying, right, 500 to 800 calories, no more than 8, okay? 500 to 800 calories, all right? And then it's all plant food, okay? You eat plants. There's no meat, okay? And plants do have protein, so you're going to limit your protein to 20 grams of protein, all right? And then I believe you would keep your carbs about 50 grams or less of carbs. This is fast mimicking, all right? Your body will believe it's fasting because the calories are low and you've got low protein, no meat, and plant food, and 50 grams of carbs, okay? That is fast mimicking. I like to do that every now and then because sometimes maybe I'm not in the mood to just really fast and go without. So I'll do a bit of fast mimicking, and that makes me feel well as all. I've done it 3 times, and I've enjoyed it. Now, there is also, and they call this the Mac Daddy of fast, which is a 24 to 72 hour water fast, all right? That's hardcore. In other words, for 24 to 72 hours, you drink nothing but water. I suggest if you've never done this type of fast, start with a 24-hour fast, and then each time increase it, okay? My first 24-hour fast, I made it to 23 hours, and my brain started hurting, and I had a headache. That was because my body was going in and cleaning up the place. It was tidying up. It was a whole bunch of cleaners in there, tidying things up. So that now I was getting rid of toxins. And as I'm getting rid of toxins, I was getting a headache. I wasn't feeling well. So I decided at that, and my blood sugar, I monitor my blood sugar, my ketones, and my blood sugar wasn't bad, but it was kind of making a steady decline. And I decided at that point it would be better to stop the fast to be able to fast another day with the 24-hour fast. So there's a 24-hour fast, and that's the primary. But what is the goal of a 24-hour fast? Well, I've already told you. You've got cleaners in there. You've got toxins being released. How are they being released? Well, when we do a fast called, and this is the one, I love this fast. I do it a lot. And it's called autophagy fasting. Now, what the heck does that mean? Autophagy fasting is fasting to clean up your body. Fasting so that your cells, your body's going to go in and go, okay, I'm not getting what I need. I'm not getting glucose. I'm not getting my proteins. I'm really not getting. Do you know what? I know where I can find some. There's all this fat we've got stored in there. Plus, there's places in the body like the liver and the pancreas and different places where I know that there's things like glycogen stored. And I know where there's things in there. So what happens is the body goes in and it begins to start breaking down cells. Now, not muscle, but it's checking the cells. What cells are healthy? What cells are kind of limping along and not doing so well? What cells are going to die anyway? And it goes in there and starts breaking down. Autophagy is autophagy, eating, auto, self, a self-eating process. So basically your body is going to eat its own cells, not all of them, but the cells that are weak and ready to, and ones that are weak and ones that are ready to die. That's exactly what it does. And then what happens? It uses it for energy. So it can go in and look for sources of energy, whether it's breaking down fat, whether it's pulling glycogen from the liver, whether it's doing all of those things. That is autophagy fasting. Now, on a 24-hour water fast, you will get the benefit of autophagy. Now, however, there definitely is a fast called an autophagy fast, and we'll talk about that right now. This is a fast I'm currently on myself. I'm in a resetters group, and I've been doing a 15-day fast that moves me through different fasting cycles so that my body can learn how to adapt and be fat adaptive. All right? So, autophagy fasting. What is an autophagy fast? Again, this is where, excuse me, this is where you're actually going to fast, all right? You fast a minimum of 17 hours. You can fast 24, but people seem to think 16 to 17 is the sweet spot for autophagy. So, 17-hour fast. Again, dinner to the next day. That way, you go to bed, you sleep well, and you get up, you wait a few hours, and then you can eat, okay? But again, what happens when we get ready to eat? Well, the calories aren't limited. It's going to be very close to fast mimicking. However, the calories will not be limited. Whatever you eat. But again, we go back to 20 grams of protein, all right? And 50 grams or less of carbohydrates, all right? And that way, the body is now knowing and being primed that it is in an autophagy phase. It begins the autophagy around 16, 17 hours. It begins breaking down its own cells, okay? Now, here's the beauty of, and this is the one I'm on. I may do a very fast, I may do a fasting for 3 days. I might do it for 5 days. I have a 60-hour fast that I do once a month, where I don't eat for 60 hours and I drink water and do all that. And it's just brilliant. These are fasts that will help you lose weight. But once you start getting down here, and it will help your body, because when you're in the fasting mode, and if you're keeping at least a 17-hour window of fasting, you're getting the benefits of autophagy. Now, there's also foods that will benefit you in autophagy, but I really don't have time to go through those today. But I'm going to talk to you more here in just a little minute about how you can learn more about what's going on. What's this? So now we have, by all these different fasts, we can lose weight, we can maintain our weight, but we can help our body to be healthy, to go in. We're talking about, when we're talking about these autophagy fasts and the 24 hours fast, we're not only talking about breaking down and cleaning up the body, we're talking about longevity, anti-aging. All of those things are involved in autophagy fasting, fast mimicking, and 24-hour water fasting. We're getting all of those benefits as well as losing weight. We're getting, oh, I'm lost. We're getting longevity. We're getting anti-aging and all sorts of things through all this fasting. Now, I supplement my ketogenic part by using exogenous ketones. And by doing that, I pump up my ability to stay in ketosis by having ketones that I take twice a day. So that is a great help. There's a lot of supplements that you can use that that will help. Now, I'm not saying you need them. You don't. Fasting's free. All you have to do is do it. Okay? But if I've gotten kind of hardcore in this, and I have a monitor where I monitor my blood sugar, my ketones, and I have a monitor, and then I calculate my glucose ketone index, which as long as I keep it under 10, I'm in ketosis. If I get down in the 3s, I'm in deep ketosis, and it's really cool. It helps me to know. I have a digestive monitor coming, so I can test and be sure certain foods, even though I don't think they're bothering me, to be sure they don't bother me. Because here's the thing, so many times we're eating stuff that's bothering us and setting up processes in our body that are at cross purpose with our goals, okay? Fasting is an amazing tool that is free, that can help you to get the effects for your body that you want. Do you want anti-aging? Do you want to live longer? Do you want to just be healthier? Do you want to lose weight? Do you want to tone down? I have lost so many inches, I cannot tell you. I don't even know at the moment how many inches I've lost. And it is the most amazing thing. And see, fasting, it's a lifestyle choice. Fasting is, I have a fasting lifestyle. And do you know what? It gives you freedom. absolute and utter total freedom. I don't have to say I have to eat this today or that tomorrow. If something comes up and say I don't anticipate, or I get a last minute invite to a party, I can adjust my eating patterns to accommodate that. I can adjust the fast that I'm on to accommodate that. Plus, when I go, I don't have to say, oh no, I'm on a diet, I can't eat cake. I can have a little piece of cake and adjust for that in my fasting process. It is the most freeing thing I've ever done when it comes to losing weight. All right? It just is. It's amazing. All right? There is so much more to this, but I've only been able to give you just the bare bones of what happens when you begin to build yourself a fasting lifestyle. Now, I need to make some disclaimers here. First, number one, if you want to learn more, on August the 14th, at, excuse me, 9:30 a.m. to 12:30 a.m., I'm going to be doing a free webinar on fasting and weight loss and a little bit about what we've talked about here today. All right. If you're interested, just drop me a little note in here. I'll be monitoring this thing and say I'm in. And then I will send you all the links and things to the webinar that we're going to be doing August 14th. For 3 hours, we're going to talk about fasting. And we're going to talk about all the ways that you can optimize your body. Your body, as Dr. Pelz says, is a miracle. You live in a miracle. We've just never been taught how to utilize the abilities our body has. Okay? Even as a nurse, I never learned this stuff. I barely learned nutrition. So I'm magically excited about all of this stuff and the things I've been able to achieve over the last year so that I can get on with life, so that I can have a healthy body, so I can live longer and be healthier. Okay? Now, all of this information that you've received here today, here's my disclaimers, are based on my experience that I have had in the fasting journey in the past year. Fasting and ketogenic eating. All right? These are based on my experience. I follow 3 people on YouTube, and I'm going to give you their names, and I'll post them here in the bottom. Dr. Mindy Pelz, M-P-E-L-Z, Mindy with a Y. Now, she's on Pacific East Coast time, so sometimes it's later in the evening when I pick her stuff up. But Dr. Mindy Pelz is amazing, absolutely amazing. And I follow a lot of what she does, her stuff. Then we have Dr. Jason Fong. He is a nephrologist. I was a nephrology nurse, so we kind of have a thing. But he talks about using fasting to help destabilize, I have to watch my words, destabilize adult onset diabetes. Yes, destabilize adult onset diabetes. If you follow fasting, whether it's intermittent, look at your carbs and do what you can do, you will destabilize adult onset diabetes and will be healthier again. Okay? And Thomas DeLauer. He's very sporty. He does a lot about sports stuff, muscle building. I'd say the guys probably would like his stuff he talks about. But those are the 3, and the information I've given you is a mixture of all these people that I have followed, that I have worked with, that I have used their techniques. Okay? So, again, thank you very much about being here today, whether you're on replay, whether you've been live with me. I thank you so much. I will post a few things. I will post, if you tell me I'm in, I will post you, take your name and have it ready to post you the link for the webinar on August the 14th at 9:30 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. Okay? That's the date of the free webinar where we're going to talk about this a lot more and a way more. If you think today was detailed, hang on to your little hat. You haven't heard anything yet. Okay? And so give me that. I'm in, and that will be for that. And I will post the name of those people of the information that I follow on YouTube. Okay? Listen, thank you so much for being here with me today. Thank you for bearing with me. This is the first time I've given this talk, so I may not be just as on cue as I usually am. But thank you again. My name is Mary Kay Anderson. I run a business called the Vibrational Institute, in which I am a holistic practitioner, hypnotherapist, and I'm here to help you make your life better. Here to make your health better. Here to make your mind better. Thank you very much. If you want to get in touch, go to vibrationalinstitute.com, or you can follow me on Twitter at Vibe Institute, okay? Or email me vibrationalinstitute@yahoo.ie. Thank you again so much. Appreciate you all. Bye.